Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great evening. Pretty nice here in Wichita yesterday, but was cooler than normal, about 60 or so, 63 yesterday afternoon. So still spring, and obviously the wind was from the north. One of the things that we face in a market is that when we see a trend day like this, everybody expects the next day to be lower or higher, depending on whether the market rallied or not. So in a trend day, what you have, what we had in yesterday's case is you got long liquidation and you got new selling. And it's the combination of both of those that gives us trend days. If we have long liquidation, we'll get a B pattern, but we won't have multiple extensions. If we have short covering, we'll get a P pattern, but we won't have multiple distributions directionally. So yesterday we had long liquidation and new selling, and the bond was especially hit. We lost 2 points in the knob spread. And it's this potential contraction in the knob spread or expansion of the knob spread that gives the 30-year the bigger and better potential for us as traders. We like that liquidity, and we have ranges that you just, especially if you're an E-mini trader, we have ranges now in the bond that just can't be touched by the E-mini. And the problem with the E-mini is that the Fed will not allow the market to go down, so large institutions, non-exchange members, are the ones who set the market's direction, and they're not playing. They've been burned so many times by setting shorts, and then just see the market come back in their face is they're just not playing. So we got a one-sided market in the E-mini, and it definitely kills volatility. Last night, China's economy was weaker, and their market rallied. The yesterday's economic news was mixed out of the United States, a little bit better than forecast. Better than when we've had good news. It has taken the E-mini down, and it did yesterday briefly, but then it came back up. So we're dealing with markets where the traders rule, high-frequency trading programs do, and that's beneficial to us, because what we can do is that we don't have to necessarily know why they're doing it or who's doing it. We can just see that they are. So what happens after a big trend day down is the market's going to search out and find out where resistance really does lie. And you can see that we have this fill from 12. We've got this fill from 10. We had a lot of activity in that 7 to 9 area, so we got volume at 6. You can see where the market could use some volume in between this area, or it could use volume, say, between 29 and maybe 12. So on the outer edge, we got 12 on the upside, and on the structurally, maybe the as low as 20. So maybe this 24, 28 is where we should start to look for support. So we had yesterday's low of 22. We have an overnight session low of 25. So I think we can come down a little bit lower. So 21, 25 would be the desired buy. The idea that we're going to have a pause day, but we're going to put a question mark in this 28 area. I don't know if we can get through that. On the sell side, leaning against the high, and this volume at 6, so we're going to make 1 to 5, sell 1, where resistance is, and it might be 31, and we just have to see how it plays out, and then 7 to 11 will be sell 2. Don't have a lot of news today. Jobless claims, 285. New home sales, 518. That's a big number, and the housing numbers have been coming in higher than forecast, be it manipulation or for real. And then we have markets, flash manufacturing PMI, which in lieu of other news can or cannot influence the market, so I'll put that number 3. Once this news is absorbed, the direction of the E-mini will probably be our major determinant. So we're going to let the market seek out where resistance might be. We got to definitely 2902 to 2912 is where resistance from yesterday is. And if we can't get to the 02 area, then I would look for us to develop value around 28 or 29 this morning. So quite often in W or X, we see a high or low set after a trend day. And in this case, we don't know where the low is, but the high right now is at 2. The news out overnight is really kind of interesting if you read it on a very, very broad basis. The world's economy continues to deteriorate. France's, Germany's, Spain's, Great Britain's numbers are all lower than forecasts on economic activity. China's missed on their manufacturing PMI, according to HSBC, which the Chinese government regularly has disputes with on what the actual number is. The market will react off HBC's number. They will trade in size the official Chinese government number, even though they may or may not believe it. So in China, bad news rallied their markets. Yesterday, early in the session, good news brought our market down, but then it came back in and took us higher. So we don't have clear-cut directional movements tied to fundamentals. It makes it very difficult to play. I put an article up early about the gaming that goes on in the E-mini, and it's there. We know it. Most orders are canceled. It's called spoofing. But what we track are actual trades done, which way is real money taking the market. You have to have an actual transaction, a buy or a sell. And that's what makes our way of looking at the market. We're not fast enough to do high-frequency trading. So we just join the crowd. We let the high-frequency guys do what they're going to do. Their model, as long as the market's upticking, they'll stay long. And so we can benefit from that too. Okay, looking at the 30-year, we've got resistance at 02. We've got a full point above it at 163 as an expanded resistance. So we got this low volume area starting in this 12 to 22 area. Then we've got the low volume number, and that's well away. So the 6131 to 04 is sell 1, and then we're going to make it 11 to 15 sell 2 because of the extra volatility here. Yeah, you think that guy's going to take the fall for the whole industry to Fitz? I doubt it. We'll make 13 to 9, buy 1. But you know what's amazing to me is that the wheels of justice do turn slowly, but the saying was they grind exceedingly fine, that these people think that they can get away with it. And what happens is that employees or fines that you don't admit guilt to or how the industry handles this, but every now and then an individual trader is fed to the government's fed to a government to appease them, and that's maybe this poor person's fate. He doesn't have the money nor the time to take on. If I were in his shoes, I would fight extradition to the United States too. Where you know what's interesting is if you go back and look at the communist showcase trials, because the law was what the Soviets happened to say it was at any moment in time. There wasn't any trust in the law, and the law changed. It was a moving target. So they had these show trials, and it all hinged on the confession of the poor individual up there because the law did change. So we haven't gotten there yet, and I'm not saying the Western judicial system is that, but being able to put a person's name on it and put him in the docket and then send him off to jail, a lot of politicians or people think solves the problem, or at least sweeps it under the rug. So if I were this guy, I'd fight like hell not to get to the United States, because if you believe that the law is impartial and you get a fair trial these days, it really depends on what the prosecutor wants to do to you. And you might beat the prosecutor, but a great deal of time and expense. I don't know what happened to the Enron guys in the UK. I didn't follow that. I know that what guys were charged with in the United States was a stretch legally. Okay, 90 to 92, sell one on gold. The 95, 97, sell two. The 85 area plus or minus, so 80 to 82 is going to be, 80 to 85 is going to be pretty good. So 85 plus or minus, buy one. 80 to 82, buy two. Best support's down on the 75, 77 area. And best resistance starts in the 95 area. We got all this volume up here, which will probably slow the market down. God, I saw a blurb someplace yesterday on the world's best prison. It was in Norway. These guys live large. It's on an island, so they can't swim off of it. That'd be water you wouldn't survive in, so kind of like Alcatraz. Makes it very, very difficult to get away from that, but private cabins, color, TV, movies, games, can grow their own food. I mean, I'm sure you get bored, but it doesn't seem like much in the way of punishment to me. But it is the right thing to do, these murder, rapists, drug dealers, etc. Okay, 108 plus market. So again, we're looking at 75 to 108 is our sell band, 1 and 2. Market looks like it's going to try to trade up higher today. We had 106.75, 107 as our buy zone, so we'll make 107, 107.25, buy 1 and 2. So we got a 107 minus, 108 plus market. Looks like they're going to test resistance early this morning. There is some talk that something will come out on Greece tomorrow, if not tomorrow, May the 11th. So these guys kick the can down as well as anybody. So I don't think there'll be any announcement tomorrow on Greece, but there could be. And after a deal announcement is made, the euphoria, the euro probably rallies on the announcement of a deal, then reality sets in and it's sold once again. And the European Central Bank, the EU, especially Germany, want a lower euro so they can export more, not just to their members. Okay, resistance is at 56.50 to 75, sell 1. 57 and a quarter, sell 2 on crude. On the buy side, last trade is 40, so 56, 55, 75, buy 1, pretty much where we were last night. And 55 and a quarter, 55, 50, buy 2. Okay, on the ES, let's take a look at the F1 screen to keep it in perspective, or perspective, as they would say in parts of the Southeast. I got a different perspective on this than you do, Bubba. But Actually, that's courtesy of Jonathan Winters, who made a long time ago. Okay, F1. We're in a trading range, and the selling's 21.05, and the buying looks like it's 75 to 80. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attempts to get through 2100. We haven't made it, so we should at least test the 90 area and perhaps lower. So again, the easiest trade to see because of this is failure to take out and hold 21.05. The tough trade is where do I buy it? 75 to 80, 80 to 85, and really the 80 area to 85 is where you've had to get in most of the time in your trades. We had one shot down below 70, so 65, 70 is the bottom of support. Probably 80, 85 is where near support does lie. So we do a London split. I don't split Asia because Asia usually is follow through. So we came in last night, 95.97 was our first buy. It gave you small trading profits, but the key is not getting through and holding 2100. So 99 to 01, sell 1, 4 to 6 is sell 2. On the buy side, like it or not, 90 to 92 is buy 1, and 85, 87 is buy 2. And you can see that this 85 to 87 is probably the better buy than the 90 to 92. So need our setups right there. I think the easiest trade to see is failure to get through 2100. Okay, it'll take about 20 minutes to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy on that. I'll be back with you as soon as possible.